Hello, maurieos 2019 Engineering Maths Weekly Quiz 1 Review. Hello, welcome. In this instructional video, we're going to go through the model answers of the Weekly Quiz 1 for 2019. Hopefully to adding a little bit of extra explanation and to answer some of the questions that may have arisen during the quiz. So now we're going to pop over to the big screen and let's just have a look, see what's going on there. So here's the question here. It says expand and simplify. So expand suggests that we want to put it in, take the brackets away, and then simplify it down to make it as simple as we possibly can. So we put it in the brackets, and as you can see here, I've indicated the first one in the brackets gets multiplied, or the first one in the first bracket gets multiplied there. All right, 3x times 3x, which gives us 9x squared. 3x times negative 1 gives us negative 3x. You'll note here that 3x minus 1 squared, we've actually put it into two separate brackets. Squared means to multiply something by itself. So 2 squared means 2 times 2. So 3x minus 1 all squared means 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. We don't put the times in there, it's implied in mathematics. We try to make mathematics so simple, believe it or not, by leaving various bits and pieces out. So then we get negative 1 times 3x, which of course is negative 3x, and then negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So you can see here how the two negatives here give you a positive, and a negative here and a negative here. Now 9x squared, we can't simplify that, but the negative 3x here, we can simplify that, and that becomes negative 6x. We've got negative 3x and another lot of them, two lots of them, negative 6x plus 1. And that there is question 1, all sorted. Now, what we're doing in this is we're giving 2 marks per question, regardless of their complexity. The marks that are shown down here, we've decided in subsequent tests, well, from test 3 onwards, not to show these. But these are the actual values that a question like this in the exam would have. And these questions are generally from past exam papers. So let's move down here to question 2. And it is to factorize. So factorize means to put it back in the brackets. So up here we had expand, which is to remove the brackets. Factorize, put it back in the brackets. Do, undo. So we look at this here, x squared plus 10x minus 11. And we know that we're going to have 2 brackets. And to get the x squared, we're going to have x and x. Because x times x, that will give us the x squared. Now there's many ways of doing this. And one thing is to look at the factors of 11, or the possible factors. Now, there's only 2 possible factors of 11, 1 and 11, because 11 is a prime number. So 1 times 11 it is. Now, what I do is I look in here, and that's a negative. Now, if that's a negative, that tells me that these signs in here are different. They're both different. One's plus and one's negative, and I see here that that's positive. That tells me that the big one is positive. And so I've got plus 11 here. So I've factorized this. It's got no coefficient in front of the x squared there. So that I know that's going to be quite easy. So I put it in here and then I check it. X times x is x squared. X times -1 is minus 1x. Plus 11x is plus 10x. All right, so that's 11x minus 1x is 10x, and then 11 times -1 is -11. And that's it, factorized into brackets or factors. Okay, now solve this equation, number 3. Well, looking at this one here, this is one that's quite a classic. So where you've got something over something equals something over something, that's typical situation where we can use what we call cross multiplication. Now actually it's as if, and with these, when you've got something over there, you can treat them all as being as brackets. So it's as if t minus 2 is in brackets and 3t plus 4 is in brackets. The 3 and the 4 you don't need to worry about. So what we do is we go, first of all, I've done it a bit back to front, I guess, but 4 times t minus 2. So that's multiplying across there. It doesn't matter which way you do it. So 4 times t minus 2 has gone there, and 3 times 3t plus 4. So note the brackets, because it's 3 times everything on the bottom and 4 times everything on the bottom there. So we put those like that, and then we expand them out. Expand, remove the brackets. So we've got 4t minus 8. 4 times t, 4 times minus 2, 9t plus 12. Now then what we do is what we do to one side we must do to the other. So in this case here, what I've done is I've done two things at once. I've taken 9t off both sides, so we've got 4t minus 9t. 9t minus 9t is 0, and then I've added 8 to the other side, because if I add 8 that'll get rid of it. So that's, I've done and left out a little couple of steps there. So we've got 4t minus 9t equals 12 plus 8. So I've got all the numbers on one side, plus 8. Okay, we'll remove that from there, because minus 8 plus 8 is 0, and 12 plus 8 over there, and similarly with the 9t. And so that then gives us 5t equals 20. So that's what that equals. And then I think I decide, oh, I just want t on its own, so I'll divide through by minus 5. And that's where I get minus 5 over minus 5 is 1. So that just leaves 1t, 1 times t, which is t, and 20 over minus 5 is minus 4, or negative 4. T equals negative 4. So there you go. That's that one just reviewed there. If you've got some questions about these, ask them in the comments below the video. Yeah, if you've got a question, ask it in the comments below the video. And just remember, there are no stupid questions or no dumb questions or stupid questions, because dumb people don't ask questions. Stupid people don't ask questions. If you don't know, ask a question. All right, now let's just go down. I don't know why that's coloured blue, but oh well, there we go. It's changed now. Now this one here, simplify, and this is dealing with indices. Simplify here. So to the power of 2/3, what does that mean? Well, what it means is it's like a number, like you can, like the top number, the 2, means that it's squared. So for instance, if we took a number like, if we multiplied, if we squared the number and then took the cubed root of it. So if we take a number like, well, 27 is a good number to use, and that's what's used in here. But we just, for a start off, we just treat it like any indices at all. So you can see over here in the first line, over here, I've gone 27 times 2/3, because that's what we do with indices, and it's every one in the brackets. So 27 to the power of 2/3, or you could treat that as 27 to the power of 1, I guess. And then you could take 2/3 of 1 as 2/3, so 27 to the power of 2/3. And then we multiply 3 by 2/3, and the answer is 2. 3 times 2/3 is 2, so it's a to the power of 2. And 9 times 2/3 is 6. So you could either go 2 times 9 is 18, divided by 3 is 6. Or, 2/3 of 9 is 6. 1/3 of 9 is 3. 2/3 is 6. So, and then we simplify. Now, 27, the cubed root of 27 is 3. And then 3 squared is 9. But you can do this on your calculators if you wanted to. You can always do this on your calculator. Just 27 to the power of 2/3 if you've got the a fraction that you can put in, or you could just go 27 to the power of 0.66666 and put as many sixes as you can, and you'll probably get it close enough anyway. And then we've got a to the power of 2, b to the power of 6. So that's that one all sorted. And now down to this one here, which is a little bit longer. We might just go Control minus, just so that we can see the whole thing. There we go. Just made it a wee bit smaller. So, just looking at this, we've got 2 plus x over x plus 2 equals 2x. Now, what do we want to do with that? Well, the first thing I'd want to do with that is to multiply everything by x. And that'll get rid of that fraction up here. Multiply everything by x. Multiply everything by x up here. And that'll get rid of the fraction. So 2 plus x times x will just be 2 plus x over x times x will be 2 plus x. And then 2 times x is 2x. And 2x times x is 2x squared. Now, you can, any equation, you can multiply it by any number and it'll still be equal. So just think of something simple, like 1 plus 2 equals 3. So if you multiply everything by 50, say, so 1 times 50 is 50. 2 times 50 is 100. So that's 150. And 3 times 50 is 150. So it still equals. The numbers are, but it still stays equal. So as long as you do the same thing to everything, it all stays true. So there we go. So we've multiplied by x. We get 2 plus x plus 2x equals 2x squared. Now what we have to do, now just back the truck up a little bit. This solve for x. So that means we've got to find a value for x. solve for x. We must find a value. So that, in this case here, we're going to simplify a bit, then we're going to factorize, then we're going to look at the factors, and then we're going to come up with some values for x. All right, so we're solving. So that straight away tells us we've got to end up at the end with x equals something. So let's, so I've gone through that there. So let's simplify it a little bit. So what I've done is I've brought the 2x squared over to this side. And I've brought everything back the other way and rearranged it a little bit. So I've gone 2x squared, and then I've gone this plus x and 2x there is 3x. So I've gone minus 3x. So I've brought that over to that side. 2x squared minus 3x. And then this 2, I've said, well, I'm going to go minus that 2. I brought that over to this side, and that's all equal to 0. So I've written it out like that. So I've got 2x squared minus x minus 2x is minus 3x minus 2, and that will all be equal to 0 because I've taken everything on that side and put it over onto that side there. Right, so now that's what we call a quadratic equation. And it looks to me like we can factorize that one, I think. So just by trial and error, and that's what I've shown there. So we've got 2x times x would give us the, if I look at the factors of 2, there's only 2 factors of 2. There's 2 and there's 1. So it's got to be 2x and x. And then it's got to be 1 and 2. And well, we'll just have to see and experiment a bit to see how it goes. So we go 2x times x gives us the 2x squared. And then I've got 2x there and a 2. So that'll give me, I'll make that minus. That'll give me minus 4x plus x will give us negative 3x. And that'll give us the minus 2. So there we are. I've got it. I've put it back into brackets. Now, each of those brackets represents a number. Now, we all know that if we multiply two numbers together, 2 times 3 is 6. All right? 4 times 5 is 20. And 1 times 6 is 6. Now, in this case here, each of the brackets represents one number. All right? And it's x is included in it. So if we multiply those two numbers together and we get 0 equals 0, and I should have written that in there. So either way, either 2x plus, so for that to equal 0, if that number times that number to equal 0, one of the numbers must be 0. It'll be true if one of them's 0. So either 2x plus 1 is 0, okay, and then the whole thing will be 0. So let's have a look at that. Or, as I've got down the bottom here, x minus 2 equals 0. So if 2x plus 1 equals 0, then 2x will equal negative 1. And x will equal negative a half. So these are just little things that we did previously, little techniques to simplify and get it down there, solving for x. So you can see there how you've got foundation things that you can do, and we break the problem down into simpler ones. So we've got 2x plus 1 equals 0 now from that there, and we get x equals negative a half. So that's one option because we've got two factors, and then the other option is that x minus 2 equals 0, and easy peasy, x equals 2. So there's our answer. X equals negative a half or x equals 2. Either one of those will make that statement up the top here true. So there you go. All good. All right, so that's my review of Weekly Quiz 1 for 2019. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below the video. And, well, I'll try to answer them in the comments section, and if I can't, I'll just make another video. I'll make it better. Together we can do it. So, yeah, all good. Cheers. See you.